Good afternoon. So I haven't made a video in a while, and today I'm working on my Spolar reloaders, shot shell reloaders for shotguns. And I'm replacing the primer punch that came on the machines for the 20 gauge and for the 28 gauge. I've just received the new Ultimate Primer punches from Creative Reloading Solutions, and for the 20 gauge and for the 28 gauge. So I'll be replacing those from the standard. Okay, so here is one of my Spolar Gold reloaders, and actually here's my second. And this machine is currently set up for 12 gauge. So this machine is set up for my 12 gauge skeet loads, and the primer punch is this punch right here that's sitting inside a 12 gauge orifice, I guess. And the primer punch goes, this is to knock the primer out right here, and then it goes out to the inside of the 12 gauge case. So this one already has the Ultimate Primer punch in it. That's this piece right here which sits in this housing. And the reason for that is for 12 gauge shells, if you have AA or the clear Fiocchis or whatever, that when you fire the shell, the crimp stays open. And so you don't care whether this was 12 gauge or what comes standard on the machine is a 410 gauge in there inside the 12 gauge housing, because the AA or clear is the mouth is open after firing it. I use the Remington STS, and they tend to close down after it's been fired, and so it needs to be opened up better. That also holds true for the 20 gauge and the 28 gauge. As an example, here is a Federal 20 gauge, and you can see that it's not wide open either, and so it needs to be opened further. And this one's actually worse than the other one. So I've received yesterday the Creative Reloading Solutions Ultimate Primer punch. For both the 20 gauge and 28 gauge. And so open that up. Here it came with its little little sheet showing all of the things it makes, and we're talking about the Ultimate Primer punch right here. A bill, loading material, card, 28 gauge spolar, and 20 gauge spolar. So we're going to open this up, maybe. Spolar instructions. Transfer the OEM D prime tube. That's what that. Okay, so this is the, again, what comes in it is this punch right here, and this happens to be 410 gauge size, but it's used as factory for all gauges. And then so here's the 20 gauge. So now we open up the 20 gauge, and once it knocks out the primer, then the swage opens it up. You can see it opens up further, and now it stays open until you can put your powder and your shot in there. Okay, So I've loosened the nut that holds us down. Okay, I've now removed the old 410 size out of this, and I'm going to be putting this 420 gauge into the unit. Okay, so I've put the new part into this, and so now when you go down all the way to depress it, it comes out the end, and it opens up the pedals on the shell. Okay, now I've reinstalled the punch onto the carrier, and it's ready to be installed onto the loader itself. So that completes the install of the Ultimate Primer Punch on the 20 gauge turret, and I've also installed the light kit from Spolar, and I've also had the fix to put in the Cheddite primers without having to do the exchange of boxes, etc. that you have to do if you don't do that. So that completes the Ultimate Primer Punch upgrade on my 20 gauge turret, and I'll also be doing it for the 28 gauge. But I'm getting ready to load some 20 gauge shells, so I wanted to put that Ultimate Primer Punch in that. And what the Ultimate Primer Punch does is, like I said, it opens up the shell completely and allows the wad to slide down there easier without getting cocked in there and causing a bulge in the case or stuff. Because when you're going pure hydraulics, is that I have cocked the wad in there. It seats slightly off center, and then don't know what it does to your pattern, because most of the time you can't get it into your barrel. I mean, occasionally I've gotten them into the gun and closed the gun, and you can see the wad do somersaults out there. But anyway, so I've done the upgrade. I've got a couple of upgrades left. The vibrator has a new holder that I think I'm going to put in soon. I don't know, it won't be this month or next month. I haven't ordered it yet, but I want to put that in there so I have all the Spolar upgrades, and then there's the upgrades to the bottles for both the shot and the powder, made out of Pyrex, so they don't discolor, because mine have discolored and they will continue to get darker. So anyway, have a good one. Talk to you later.